Time ticks perilously slowly. It seems like hours ago that I made the call to report my daughter missing. I couldn't believe how calmly and dispassionately the woman, AW1, took all my details, asking whether we'd had any arguments at home and if we'd tried to contact Annie's friends to check whether they'd seen her. Do they think we're stupid or something? "Did you tell them she's only 10? Kit asks. "Of course I did," I snap back. "So why aren't they here yet?" "I don't know." "Didn't you explain how serious it is?" He's pacing up and down now, his shoulders hunched up to his ears, hands shoved into his pockets, a bundle of nervous energy. "For God's sake, Kit, sit down, will you? You'll wear a hole in the carpet. She said they're sending someone. I'm sure they're on the way." "And what are we supposed to do in the meantime? Sit here and make polite conversation, kick back and watch a film?" I hate it when he gets like this, all antsy and sarcastic, taking it out on me when he knows full well this is not my fault. "They'll be here," I tell him. "There's no point getting worked up about it. It's not going to help." I always thought Kit would be good in a crisis. He's usually so calm and collected, the person who keeps his head, while everyone else runs around flapping and clucking. But he's wound up so tightly tonight, it's infectious. I just about held it together when I dialed 999, but his agitation is getting under my skin, ratcheting up my own anxiety. I've always looked up to Kit and deferred to him on most things. Maybe because he's older than me. A lot older. Not quite old enough to be my father, but not far off it. Before him, I'd been through a string of unsuitable boyfriends, all too immature and self-obsessed to amount to anything more than a bit of fun. There was something different about Kit. At 42, he was 15 years my senior, but the age difference barely registered. I was attracted to him because of his relaxed self-confidence. Not arrogant or cocky, but a man happy in his own skin. He had nothing to prove to himself or anyone else, and that was utterly alluring. It was entirely by chance that we met, one of those weird quirks of fate. I travelled into Canterbury to meet up with a friend for lunch and happened to be walking past the register office at the precise moment Kit was passing in the opposite direction. I might never have looked at him twice, other than for a young couple getting married who needed 2 witnesses. Kit and I were in the right place at the right time, and much to our mutual amusement, we were dragged off the street to assist with the formalities, like something out of a Hugh Grant movie. Afterwards, Kit asked me to join him for a drink. He told me he'd only popped out of his office to grab some lunch. It became his little joke, telling anyone who wanted to know how we met it was the most expensive sandwich of his life. One drink became several, and when he finally realised the time and had to rush back, I happily gave him my number. We were married within the year, and I fell pregnant with Annie, our little miracle, 4 years after that. She came as a surprise to us both. Kit already had grown-up children of his own from a previous marriage, and I'd been told by doctors it was highly unlikely I'd ever conceive again. So when I did, unexpectedly, I had no way of knowing how he was going to react. I was terrified of telling him, but I had nothing to fear. Kit was delighted, although I think more for my sake than at the thought of being a father again. I cooked him his favourite meal, and when he asked me how my day had been, I placed the plastic pregnancy stick in the middle of the table. "What's that?" he said, glancing at it briefly like he didn't know. I waited. "Are you—" I nodded. "Pregnant." "Are you serious?" "Look for yourself." But how?" "I thought after 2 kids you might have worked that out." I laughed. "Yes, but I mean, I thought you couldn't, after—" I thought so too. I was only 19 when I'd first fallen pregnant, too young to be a mother. I still didn't know what went wrong, only that there had been complications. "Darling, that's wonderful news." He pushed back his chair and hurried around the table to hug me. "Are you sure?" "Am I sure what?" "Are you sure you're happy? We've not talked properly about having a baby." "Of course I'm pleased."